Hi everybody, welcome to a new episode of the vlog. We are here from glorious Toronto today. Britt has a couple of special secret adventures to show me today. For the last several weeks she has been excitedly making plans that I did not even know about until just now. She was telling everybody, even on the train getting here, she was telling people, she's like, Graham doesn't know, and I had to.
I was showing people pictures and they were impressed, so I was pretty confident that he would like all the surprises.
So I'm going to take you on some surprise adventures. Not a surprise because it was in the thumbnail, but we have a couple of historic things. You want to tell them what our first adventure is?
Elgin Theatre and Winter Garden.
Yes, I did very limited research beforehand. It's apparently, I didn't even know there were double-decker theaters, but there's like a theater on top of them, and they're beautiful. And I love historical tours. She's doing great so far.
Okay.
Let's go inside. Sorry for the audio quality of that first part there. Apparently I need to learn to speak up over the busy Toronto streets, but yes, today we are doing a tour of the beautiful Elgin and Winter Garden theaters. I will be your tour guide. My name is Graham. Hello. These are opulent and gorgeous stacked Edwardian theaters. I didn't even know such a concept existed. Apparently these are the last of their kind in North America. They were built to be the flagship Canadian theater for Lowe's Theaters, of course, run by Marcus Lowe, who was also the president, or he owned Metro Pictures, which became part of Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer, and he, again, spared no expense on this opulent structure as being the flagship of the Canadian division of theaters. He wanted it to be very eye-catching for anyone who might come through. And yes, it is on many levels, and look at these old elevators that would take the rich patrons all the way up to the bougie upper theater, the Winter Garden, which is absolutely gorgeous. We'll get to that a little bit later in this amazing tour. Here's another part of the lobby. Again, just so opulent if you look at that. Yes, I really enjoyed this tour. They took us right on in to the main theater, the Elgin Theatre. Look at it in all of its gorgeous splendor. The larger of the two theaters, again, original to the building from 1913. Our tour guide, who was amazing and who I'm stealing all of this information from, told me that when this theater was new in 1913, this is where the Grindhouse took place, which is what they used to call the running show of vaudeville performers that went on from early in the morning to late in the evening. It was a rotating cast of vaudeville performers that performed all throughout the day. Your ticket got you in at any point during the day, and in theory meant you could stay for one round of performers, but you could theoretically stay as long as you want. In the late 1920s, this particular theater was completely renovated to show the new craze, which was sound pictures. And it mainly became a movie house more than anything else going forward. It got sold to famous players in the late 1960s. Look at those gorgeous box seats along the side. I'll tell you a little bit more about those in a second here. They were torn completely out shortly after this particular theater got sold to famous players. It was in the late 60s that they took a gamble on a brand new format known as Cinerama. Cinerama used these big giant domed screens, not too dissimilar from what IMAX would use these days. And in order to fit this enormous domed screen, they tore out the front of the theater, and all of the opulent features were just completely thrown away. The theater fell into disrepair during its later years in the 70s, 80s, and 90s. Now, what's wild about the level of disrepair that the theater found itself in is that in 1995, the musical Cats was looking for a Canadian home for their production, and they fell in love with the terrible state this old theater was in. They painted it all in black, and it served as the perfect setting for the play. For 2 years, the Canadian production of Cats, housed in this Elgin Theatre, was a tremendous success. And it had been a movie house for so long, had been stripped of so much of its original splendor long before they came, but this sort of showed people that this could still be used as a state-of-the-art live performance space if a little bit more money was invested, or a lot more money was invested into it, and thankfully that's exactly what happened. And it's that renovation that makes this theater look so gorgeous now. They really did an amazing job with it. We're now leaving the Elgin Theater space and going into what was at once just backstage sort of office area stuff, but is now being converted into being what should be an amazing museum for theater in Canada. And they have a couple pieces here, like this construction model of all the walkways and lobby space and the grand staircase and all that goes into this amazing double-decker theater. Like I said, we've only seen one of the two theaters already. This is their mock-up of the Elgin space, up a few more floors, and then there's the grand staircase into the gorgeous Winter Garden. That is upstairs. That's a scale model of what we're in right now, and again, we will get to upstairs here. As we go up the escalator, up further, higher into the complex here, they have a series of historical photos of what the Marquets used to look like back in the day. I thought that was really cool. Up into the museum space, they have these, this is just like a collage of posters of shows that have been through in the last decade or so to the Elgin and or Winter Garden space. This is the centerpiece of the museum and the most glorious thing I've ever seen. Up in the Winter Garden, which was not used for several decades, when they got back to it in the 90s during this renovation, they discovered the most amazing collection of hand-painted just set backdrops from the original vaudeville era of the 1910s and 20s. Said there were just dozens and dozens, even hundreds of pieces. A few of them, the originals, are displayed here. I loved this piece particularly. Look at the detail on the doors that open and close. Again, these are more than just tapestries. These are original set pieces from the 1910s and 20s that, again, yeah, just left in what was at the time the abandoned upstairs theater space, and they've been lovingly restored. This is sort of Egyptian themed backdrop, and then they had I could have just stared at this for so long. This was the most amazing part, aside from the actual theater spaces themselves. They had a little film screen here, or film screen, I've said the word film so many times in this video, just a video screen showing examples of some of the other beautiful backdrops and tapestries and set pieces that they uncovered. So when the downstairs Elgin Theater was still being used through the 30s, 40s, 50s, and 60s and being used as more of a movie theater than anything else, after the first couple of decades, the top level, the Winter Garden Theater, was left abandoned, like I said, for like 60 years, from the late 30s all the way through the late 90s when this massive renovation took place. And windows had been shattered. And, before I get into that, this is just some more things that they're going to put up in the museum. It really looks like it's going to be a great museum once it's all finished. But, yeah, sorry, I'll get back to, here's some historical photos from that 90s renovation, so I'll get back to talking about that. They lovingly and painstakingly brought, you're about to see the amazing, if you haven't seen already, the amazing beauty of the Winter Garden Theater. Again, just a few stories directly on top of the Elgin Theater, where we just was. Up this escalator with, again, I did really appreciate all the old historical photos, but the reveal for coming into this theater was just spectacular. Here's the original grand staircase, opulent and beautiful, that people would have walked up to get to the somewhat more exclusive and more beautiful upstairs theater. This is the original lobby space with some marble work there. There was a lot of fake marble here, they said, but that particular marble work was real. And the grand reveal of the doorway opening here into the truly magnificent Winter Garden theater space. Just look at this. It's designed to look like you're sitting outdoors in a garden, while the production of whatever you came in and paid to see took place on the stage. And this was never a movie palace. This was pretty much always a live performance space. And again, everything here that you see is pretty much from the 90s recreation. What had happened was so many decades of dirt and grime had accumulated all over everything in this space. And in the 90s, when they went to wash it off, they noticed that the beautiful hand-painted fixtures were coming off with it. Look at this. This is another backdrop, another one of those amazing hand-painted vaudeville era backdrops that were found within this theater space. But look at all the gorgeous painted detail on the back. When they started cleaning it, they found that was wiping right away. So the only way that they found to fix this was to use an absolutely ridiculous amount of flour and water. It sort of became this little dough that they would press up against the artwork, and was the only thing they found that could take off the dirt while retaining the beautiful hand painted work on the outside. So the vast majority of the original hand painted designs are still there. Here's the backstage area they took us into. This was really, really cool to see. The pulley system for the curtains is even fascinating. We're going to get to that. Oh, this is the back side of that fire curtain slash vaudeville drape that's original to the structure. And so, yes, are the pulleys as well. They are a hemp rope pulley system and the last of their kind in North America. Just the antiquated way of doing that. They have preserved 3 heritage dressing rooms to look just like they would have in the theater's heyday of the vaudeville era. This was really cool to look around. We really enjoyed this. And then, of course, they have the more modern dressing rooms as well for comparison. And yeah, another mini theater space here just to house some of the little artifacts that were found over the course of the restoration project that they went through. They found little things here and there that had been stashed away for decades and had become these relics of a time gone by in terms of performing arts theaters and movie as well. The original projector is there. This was the board for, I want to say, lighting cues, and also for flying in stage pieces. I forget the exact, if anyone wants to let me know in the comments, remind me exactly what that board did. It was all explained very well in the tour. Again, I recommend anyone do that tour. There's some little, I don't know if they're set pieces or what they are, but what I thought was really cool is look at that Marcus Lowe sort of stamp on the back of this set design thing for Marcus Lowe Studios. Yeah, so no one takes it, just the original company stamp. And yes, this is the projector that was found up in the Winter Garden, which did show movies as well as vaudeville. And yeah, this is the beautiful hand-painted work that is on every inch of this theater that I was talking about earlier, that they used that mixture of flour and water to lovingly bring back. The flowers and plants coming from the ceiling were originally all real, but now I believe they are more synthetic material that is built to last. And I was going to say so it doesn't require as much maintenance, but they described a whole elaborate system of maintenance that they still have to do with the beautiful ceiling. Yeah, everywhere you go, even through the walkways. It's just so gorgeous as we step up into the sort of balcony slash mezzanine space here in the Winter Garden. My girlfriend Britt really knocked it out of the park with this trip. We both wish we could have gotten the chance to actually see a production of something in either of these theaters, but particularly this upstairs Winter Garden space. It was a bit of a slow season during the summer months. We weren't able to make that work, but I enjoyed this perhaps even more than I would have enjoyed going to a show, getting to learn all of the details, much more than I was just able to share with you in this little 15-minute bit. But yeah, everywhere you go, my jaw was just on the floor. They don't make theaters like this anymore, and I have just never seen anything like this upstairs Winter Garden space here. As we step out, back down these stairs, which lead you, first into the downstairs part of the theater as we go back through some of this beautiful and largely original, the painted walls here, back into the opulent grand staircase, and back down into the lobby area. As I'm filming this little voiceover, recording, I don't know, I've already gotten back home to BC, but next time I come to Toronto, I would love to go to a show, either at the Elgin or Winter Garden theaters. Before we leave this space, there was one more cool thing that they told us to go around back and see if we could find. And I was very excited while we were in there, because right at the end they were telling us about this beautiful ghost ad. I love ghost ads. Look at this. The original ad for Lowe's Yonge Street Theater and their grindhouse of shows that he said would start at 9:30 a.m. and run through to like the late evening every night. And that's the original sign. That is so cool. This is of course the back of the theater, an entire block away from the front. That was really an amazing experience, honey. And now we're on to another super secret special adventure. Alright, Britt has taken us to Allen Gardens. This building I think dates to 1911. Look at this old smokestack even. Yeah, this is apparently a totally free thing you can do. I really wanted to go to the Hockey Hall of Fame on this trip, and Britt said, okay, but let's look at some flowers also. So we're gonna look at some pretty flowers. Apparently, this is on land that was donated to the Horticultural Society in 1858, and there's been a city park here since, like a city garden here since 1860 or so. 160 years of garden. Giant hanging guy. Big cactuses. But yes, this main building and I think adjacent greenhouses, at least the first version of them, are, as this sign says, from 1909, 1910 or so. I think they had a fire that demolished the original version of this, but it's such a beautiful space. Honey, I must admit, when I think of Toronto, I didn't really think about waterfront. I don't know why. Sorry about that, but I forgot they're on Lake Ontario. This is absolutely amazing. And this is the location for secret plan number 2. Well, I've read the sign now, but do you want to tell them what secret adventure number 2 is?
We're going on a 1930s sailboat.
Yeah.
And there's a bar.
And there's a bar. But I'm excited. We're going to get a great, well, we should get a great view of the Toronto skyline and, in theory, sunset.
Hopefully.
Woke up this morning, the day of our plans, to an air quality advisory. I thought that, oh, it's one of the ferries. This is very on brand for my channel to stop what I'm talking about in the middle of a sentence because a ferry boat is going by. I don't know all about this yet. I know I want to do a video from the Toronto Islands at some point, but the ferry boats have been used since the 30s and are still being used today. It's amazing. I shouldn't have even stopped recording. I had to have my girlfriend remind me what on earth I was talking about. It is smoggy. There are wildfires in North Ontario, I think. And yeah, smoggy, bad air quality day. But
I was worried we wouldn't get a sunset, but I think we might.
It's been getting better all day. I can't wait. Boat adventure. Yeah. And this Oriole ship is very cute. Apparently it's a steamship replica they use for tours. Very cool. Another one of the Toronto ferries is going by. Alright. Oh, I see our ship coming in. Britt knows me well, so she found a historic ship for us today. This is the Kajama. I am probably pronouncing that wrong. It's probably the Kajama. I don't really know. Oh, the showboat is interrupting me as it backs out of port here. The Kajama was built in 1930 in Germany as a cargo ship. Used just her sails for years before, obviously, they put an engine on it, and it's been here since the late 90s. But it's been all over the world doing various roles in its life, and here, 95, it's almost 100. 95 years after it started sailing, it is, yeah, it's like a bougie little cruise ship now. And we're gonna have a very fun time. Yay! Alright, it appears we are setting off.
One of those instructions may be to don a life jacket, which my coworker will demonstrate right here. First, take off any hands or sunglasses you might have, and slip your head through the hole. Then, take your two on either side of this red fork peak behind me, and two on either side of the wheelhouse at the back of the ship. Finally, we have two 150% life platforms in those white tic-tac shaped containers in the middle of the ship. With all that said, I just want to remind you all to be
They've done up the sail, it would appear.
It's like an activity you can do to see if you're strong enough to do it.
We are passing the cruise ship of Viking Octantis. Very cool. It is Norwegian, hence the Viking motif.
Lake Superior, yeah. Nice.
The boat has an inside part as well if you go below deck. It's like a banquet hall in here. Guess this is where the cargo used to go. I'd probably have enough shots of the CN Tower, but like, it's a landmark. Almost back to shore. Have you enjoyed our cruise?
Yes.
This has been amazing. I think this is going to do it for our video today of all of our Toronto. We'll be back tomorrow because we have to get up probably earlier than 6 a.m. We're humming and hawing about it. We are going to get one of those bus trips to Niagara Falls, so we're going to bring you guys with us tomorrow. Thank you for following along on this journey. Like, subscribe, comment, all that fun stuff. I'll see you soon. Kajama says goodbye.